What if Eminem and Rihanna got married?
What if I told you that two of music's biggest icons could have ended up together? Not just as collaborators, not just as friends, but as husband and wife. This is the story of what could have happened if Eminem and Rihanna had fallen in love and gotten married. Buckle up, because this alternate timeline is going to blow your mind.
Let's go back to 2010. Eminem was already a legend. He'd been through the wars, addiction, divorce, nearly losing his career. But he'd come back stronger with his album Recovery. He was clean, focused, and ready to dominate again. Rihanna was 22 years old and on fire. She'd survived her very public and traumatic relationship with Chris Brown in 2009, and she was channeling all that pain into her music. She was fierce, independent, and not taking anything from anyone. They met to record Love the Way You Lie. In our real timeline, it became one of the biggest songs of the decade. But in this story, something else happened during those recording sessions. The studio was dark, except for the glow of the equipment. Eminem was in the booth, spitting his verses with that raw intensity he's known for. Rihanna watched from the control room, and she felt something. This wasn't just another collaboration. The way he poured his heart into the lyrics about toxic love, she understood it. She'd lived it. When it was her turn to record, something shifted. As she sang "Just Gonna Stand There and Watch Me Burn," she wasn't thinking about her past relationship anymore. She was looking at Marshall Mathers, this complicated man who'd been through so much, and she saw someone who understood pain the way she did. After the session, they talked for hours, not about music, not about the industry. They talked about real things, about being misunderstood, about the masks they wear for the public, about their fears and their scars. Marshall told her about his daughters, about how being a father was the only thing that kept him alive during his darkest days. Rihanna told him about growing up in Barbados, about her own father's struggles with addiction, about how she understood more than people thought. Over the next few months, they stayed in touch. Text messages at first, then phone calls that lasted until 3 a.m. Marshall wasn't good at this stuff. Relationships terrified him. He'd been burned badly by his ex-wife Kim, not once, but twice. He'd sworn off serious relationships. But Rihanna was different. She didn't want anything from him. She had her own money, her own fame, her own power. She just wanted to talk to someone who got it. In 2012, they recorded The Monster together. By then, their friendship had deepened. The video showed them in a therapy session together, and honestly, it wasn't that far from the truth. They'd become each other's therapists in a way. Marshall started opening up in ways he never had before. He told Rihanna about his mother, about the lawsuits, about how he still had nightmares about losing everything. She told him about the night with Chris Brown, about the shame and the fear she still carried. It was December 2013. Rihanna had just finished her Diamonds World Tour. She was exhausted, emotionally drained. She'd been linked to various guys in the media, Drake, Chris Brown again, which worried everyone, other celebrities, but none of it felt real. She flew to Detroit. She didn't tell anyone, not even her team. She just needed to see Marshall. He picked her up from the airport himself, wearing a hoodie and looking like any regular guy. They drove to his house in Rochester Hills, the mansion he'd bought years ago and rarely left. They sat in his home studio and she broke down. All the pressure, all the expectations, all the loneliness of being Rihanna, it came pouring out. Marshall didn't try to fix it. He didn't give advice. He just held her while she cried. And then she kissed him. Marshall pulled back, panicked. We can't. I'm 41, you're 25. I'm a mess. I've got 3 kids. I'm boring. I go to bed at 9 p.m. I don't go to clubs. She kissed him again. I don't care about any of that. I care about you, the real you, not Eminem, Marshall. That night changed everything. They decided to keep it quiet. Both of them had been through public relationships that turned into media circuses.
Marshall's relationship with Kim had been dissected in his music and in tabloids for years. Rihanna's relationship with Chris Brown had been the subject of constant scrutiny. They wanted something that was just theirs. For months, they managed it. Rihanna would fly to Detroit between tour dates and recording sessions. Marshall would occasionally visit her in LA, always low-key, always under the radar. His daughters knew. Haley was 18 and in college, and she actually approved. She'd seen her dad alone for so long, and Rihanna made him happy in a way she hadn't seen before. Whitney and Elena, his adopted daughters, thought Rihanna was the coolest person ever.
Marshall wasn't impulsive, he overthought everything. But with Rihanna, something felt different. She made him want to be brave. It was June 2014. Rihanna was in Detroit for a few days between appearances. Marshall took her to the Detroit Institute of Arts after hours. He'd pulled some strings to get the place to themselves. They walked through the galleries and he stopped in front of a painting called The Wedding Dance by Peter Bruegel. It showed a chaotic, joyful village wedding celebration. "Our lives are chaos," he said. "The media, the fans, the pressure, everything. But when I'm with you in the middle of all that chaos, I feel calm. I feel like myself. Not Slim Shady, not Eminem, just Marshall." He got down on one knee right there in the museum. The ring was simple but elegant. He knew she didn't need anything flashy. "Robin, Rihanna, Fenty, will you marry me?" She said yes without hesitation.
They knew they couldn't keep it secret for long. They decided to announce it themselves rather than let the tabloids break the story. In August 2014, they both posted the same photo on social media, their hands intertwined showing the engagement ring. The caption was simple: "We found something real in a fake world." The internet exploded. Eminem and Rihanna together, getting married? No one had seen it coming. The reactions were mixed. Some fans were ecstatic. They'd love The Way You Lie and The Monster, and had always hoped there was chemistry there. Other people were skeptical. The age difference bothered some people. Others thought it was a publicity stunt. Dr. Dre called Marshall and said, "Man, I didn't see this coming, but I'm happy for you." 50 Cent made jokes on social media, but privately told Marshall he supported him. Elton John, who'd been a mentor to Marshall during his recovery, was thrilled. Rihanna's family in Barbados was protective at first. They knew about Marshall's past, his lyrics about Kim, his struggles, but when they met him, they saw what Rihanna saw, a genuine, kind man who loved their daughter. They got married on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2014. They wanted something private, intimate, far from the media circus. They chose a small resort in Barbados, Rihanna's home country. Only close family and friends were invited, maybe 50 people total. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were there. Marshall and Jay had their complicated history, but they'd made peace years ago. Dre was there, 50 Cent was there, trying not to cry. Royce da 5'9" was Marshall's best man. Melissa Ford, Rihanna's best friend, was her maid of honor. Haley, Whitney, and Elena were bridesmaids. They wore blue dresses that Rihanna had personally helped design. The ceremony was on the beach at sunset. Rihanna wore a custom Stella McCartney dress, elegant, simple, nothing too over the top. Marshall wore a suit, looking more nervous than he'd ever looked on stage in front of 80,000 people. When it came time for vows, Marshall surprised everyone. He'd written them himself, and he read them without his usual bravado. "Robin, you saved me. Not from addiction, I did that myself. Not from depression, I'm still working on that. But you saved me from being alone in my head. You showed me that I could be vulnerable and still be strong. You showed me that love doesn't have to hurt. I promise to protect you, to support your dreams, to make you laugh when you're stressed, and to be the man you deserve. I love you, and I can't believe you're willing to put up with me." Rihanna's vows were simpler. "Marshall, you see me. Not Rihanna the pop star, not Riri the brand. You see Robin, and you love her anyway. That's all I've ever wanted. I promise to be your peace in the chaos. I love you." There wasn't a
In 2015, they decided to do something unprecedented, a collaborative album. Not an Eminem album featuring Rihanna, not a Rihanna album featuring Eminem, a real 50-50 collaboration. They called it Recovery and Redemption. The album was raw, honest, and vulnerable. It was about two damaged people finding healing in each other. It was about past trauma, about forgiveness, about learning to love again. Critics didn't know what to make of it at first. It wasn't a typical rap album. It wasn't a typical pop album. It was something entirely new. But fans loved it. The album debuted at #1. Singles like Scars We Share and Home in You topped charts worldwide. They won Grammys for it. During the Grammy performance, they performed Home in You together. Marshall, who usually kept his private life extremely private, held Rihanna's hand on stage. The camera caught a moment where he looked at her like she was his whole world. That performance went viral. Even people who'd been skeptical about their relationship started to believe.
The truth is, we live in a world where this didn't happen. Eminem and Rihanna are friends and collaborators, nothing more. But the story asks an interesting question. What if? What if two people from completely different worlds could find common ground? What if age didn't matter when the connection was real? What if the most unlikely pairing turned out to be exactly right? In music, unlikely collaborations often create the best art. Maybe in love, it works the same way. Maybe the person who makes you happy isn't who you expected. Maybe they don't fit the image you had in your head. Maybe they're older or younger, from a different background, with a different lifestyle. But maybe that's what makes it work.